And y'all, when your green stalk, or should I say your vegetables, look this good at home, why would you ever buy that stuff at the store? When I got all these different varieties, some of these varieties you can't even buy at the local grocery store. But hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is time for our mid-May garden update. Hello everyone. Woo, we have been busy in Southwest Ohio. We finally got some weather that's decent enough for us to get outside and get some things planted. I have all of my transplants minus one or two little things in the ground, and I'm going to show you where I put them and what I have in place. And we're going to try to do this at the same time that I'm trying to walk little buttons here and trying to teach buttons not to climb in my garden beds. Anyway, let's get started. I am over at the neighbors, and yes, I maintain this garden as well, and we have this garden planted mostly with all of the transplants. So let's talk about what we've put in these beds. I guess you can see my neighbor went off and picked up a little happy frog, which is great. So we have onions growing over here in this bed. We didn't add any happy frog to this bed or this bed, and we only have onions growing in here. And these are beds without happy frog. Now these onions have been put in here for a while now. 2 whole beds of nothing but onion. And they're moving kind of slow, growing kind of slow, and that's probably because y'all, I didn't put any fertilizer in that bed either. So we're gonna have to go back, we're gonna have to fertilize that bed or these 2 beds to try to get them to jump start and grow. We did this bed together, and in this bed, y'all, we have premium broccoli, and I think we have a little, it might be all broccoli and cauliflower or something like that, but we have just a few plants. Now we did have an issue with squirrels digging some of them up over on that back side over there, but they finally left it alone and they are starting to get happy. Now we did add a little bit of happy frog and fertilizer. No fertilizer, just happy frog to this bed here. We don't have anything back here yet, but my neighbor absolutely loves dragon tongue beans. So we're gonna put dragon tongue beans in that spot right there. And maybe we'll get to it by the weekend. We've added happy frog to all of the beds now, all of them. This one, that one over there, all of these in this row now all have happy frog. This is the bed that we did together with my new CC cordless tiller. And y'all look how pretty it is. I mean, they are coming to life with the peppers in the back. Now that's sugar rush peppers, y'all, and I only have 3. And then I put a couple heads of lettuce here in the front. That right there is different types of eggplant, or one type of eggplant. Celery right here, and then of course more onion. You can't even see the onion, they're so tiny in there. Now when we did this bed, I didn't have any happy frog at the time, but yesterday my neighbor went, grabbed a bag of happy frog, and she top dressed all of these plants with the happy frog. So now they have fertilizer and happy frog. So if you think they look good now, y'all give them a week. Y'all, they're gonna explode with growth. This bed right here, believe it or not, I put this bed in these teeny little horrible looking plants. My neighbor, and they're so small you can't even see them. My neighbor put these in like 2 weeks before we put those in. And they just sit here and did nothing. Some of the reasoning for this to happen, one, we didn't till this bed, so the ground was super compact. So the ground was super compact, and we didn't put any happy frog, we didn't put any fertilizer, we didn't put anything in with these plants. And we put them in, and this is where they sit, and that's what they did. Absolutely nothing. Well, yesterday I was out here with the neighbor, We added Happy Frog and top dressed all of them. We dug them all back up and put them in the ground again. And so a week from now, let's see if we see a difference in the growth, especially since we put these invisible plants in the bed before we put any of these plants in the bed. No till, tilled soil. But now I have Happy Frog in both of these beds. Let's see if we see a difference. I still didn't put any Happy Frog on top of the onion over there. And at this point, I'm not going to, but we will come back and top dress with a little bit of fertilizer over there. Hey, Buttons, you a little tied up? You done got a little caught up in something? Well, at least you're still and you're not messing. All right, in this bed right here, y'all, yesterday we planted our tomato plants over here. So over here we have all indeterminate tomatoes in this bed. Indeterminate. Many different varieties. I'll show you pictures of them if I can read them. Let me start there. 2 Cindy's West Virginian. That's a Brandywise right there. A Fred's tie-dye. We have a true black Brandywine, another true black Brandywine, and another. So 3 true black Brandywines. And then on this far end down here, that's a brown sugar. Y'all, that one's new to me this year. I hope that's a good one. This is a pineapple. And y'all, I have no idea what that is because you can't even read the tag anymore. I think it's a Thunder Mountain or something like that. So I'll show you a picture of Thunder Mountain for that one. So my neighbor cleaned out this bed for me so I can put more things in that bed there. So we'll plant something from seed there. She moved everything in that bed over here. So we had some onion that she moved over here. And then she moved some flowers over to the line of flowers. I won't be doing anything in that bed there. Moving on down to the next bed here, I planted what few, and when I say few, I do mean very few. I don't have many sweet peppers. I didn't even have enough to do my garden, but I wanted to make sure there were a few over here for the neighbors. So I made sure there's at least a handful of sweet peppers over here for the neighbor. So in this bed here, we have paprika, Costa Rican, yellow monster, that one there that I can't pronounce, but here's the picture of it, a Marconi, and a chocolate bell. Those are the 6 sweet peppers that we've planted. And that's all I had to spare, y'all. That's it. That's all. But I believe that's going to be enough between my garden and their garden. Now, also in this bed over here, we added some more indeterminate tomatoes. All 4 of these tomatoes are Abe Lincoln. Now, I've tried to grow Abe Lincoln before in my garden, and y'all, they didn't do so well. But from my understanding, there's 2 different varieties of Abe Lincoln out there. There's the original Abe Lincoln plus one that's not from the original strain. So I'm told that this year's plants that I have are from that original Abe Lincoln plant. So we have 4 of them in the ground, and we'll see how they're going to do. But that's it for the raised beds here over at the neighbors. And you see, I still have plenty of space to start some things from seeds. Now let's head over and take a look at the 2 GreenStalks that we have growing in this space. In this GreenStalk right here, this is the 10-inch original GreenStalk. We have different types of broccoli growing down low, and they're looking good, y'all. I don't know what happened. That pocket's empty. I don't remember what's going on with that one. We also started some cucumbers in here. So we have a honey plus cucumber behind this little thing here. And there's another one. And they've already germinated. We got a couple extra pockets here we haven't done anything with. In the top, we have the micro dwarf red robin growing. And that's it, y'all, because the rest of my micro dwarf plants didn't make it. And like I said, broccoli, kale, and a few empty pockets waiting on something. I may put squash or something in those pockets. There's a blue ribbon that's been waiting to get free. So it's important to remove these little covers once things germinate, because I put this and this in here at the same time. And look, that one's stunted and this one is growing nicely because it got around the little cover that I have here. So covers are for starting seeds, or seed, what are they called? Greenhouse covers. You need to remove them so that the plants can grow once they start taking off. We'll move on over to this GreenStalk over here. We have onion in the bottom. Completely in the bottom are onion. When we come up to the next level, y'all, we got many different varieties of lettuce. And these are all different types of leaf lettuce in here. I don't know what this is, but they've been enjoying it. They said it's good. It's some kind of mixed lettuce that we got from the local nursery. This I grew myself. This is from the local nursery. We got some in here. This is celery growing right there. That's celery. More lettuce up here. More lettuce and more celery. I think we have a whole tier of nothing but celery in there. And then coming up to the very top, those are carrots. And it looks like this GreenStalk survived the squirrels when they were in tiny beginning stages. Everything looks good and surviving except for that one plant right there. But everything else looks really, really good. It has filled out nicely. And y'all, when your GreenStalk, or should I say your vegetables, look this good at home, why would you ever buy that stuff at the store? When I got all these different varieties, some of these varieties you can't even buy at the local grocery store. But these look amazing. So that's it for the neighbors. So now let's go over and let's check out my garden and everything that we've gotten done over the last few weeks. Now I know it looks like an absolutely beautiful day, but y'all, we've been getting so much rain. I got standing water everywhere. So it looks really nice out here, but y'all, I'm wading in the water, if you know what I mean. Y'all, this is all I have left from a transplant standpoint. And y'all, they not looking too good, but that's all the transplants I got left. I need to find a home for those last few items. But we're gonna start over here on the patio, y'all. This is the second round of radish growing in this spot right here. Y'all, here's a quick picture of the last harvest of radish that we had, y'all. And that's when I emptied this particular bed out of radish, y'all. That radish looked good, and we're still enjoying it inside right now. So we got radish growing, we got bok choy growing as well. Still got carrots over in this area. We replanted some of these because we had some gaps. Those are coming in nicely. These are beets coming in right here, and there are no red beets, no red, only whites and golds and that kind of stuff. Now we've harvested these right here. These are different types of turnip greens, 5 different varieties. We've harvested twice, and we'll be harvesting again this weekend. Like in 3 days, this is going to be completely filled out. This right here, we haven't harvested yet, but this weekend we're going to get our first harvest. These are rape greens, my absolute favorite green to eat. And this is going to be really nice. So we'll get the first harvest, and hopefully, and I really do mean hopefully, I like to try to harvest off my greens a minimum of 4 times. So this will be the first harvest this upcoming weekend. And of course, you're going to harvest with me. Now we reseeded this bed because there were a few areas where we had poor germination, and those little seeds are coming in. So by the time I harvest these larger leaves, it's going to open those smaller plants to get the sunlight, and then they'll grow and be nice and full. The Rolanka carrots are doing very well. The Lila Lu Sang carrots didn't germinate very well, but I reseeded them and yeah, they're still not coming up very well, but there's a few more in there. And that's what's growing on the patio, in addition to a few flowers. In this pot right here, as well as this pot, I now have lavender growing in these two containers. So we had to find a place to put everything, y'all. And that includes some coleus. Now these two really horrible looking pots over here, and I know they don't look good, y'all. I know they don't look good, but these are handmade clay pots that I purchased in Tennessee several years ago. And this area doesn't get a lot of sun. So the sun comes up over there and it goes that way. And it's always behind this shed, so that's always slightly in the shade. And so the best flower you can put in there is a shade-loving flower like coleus. And so we grew these coleus from seed. Moving over to the next two plants here along the walkway, we'll start with this one. These are all collard greens, many different varieties. And yes, we will be harvesting them this weekend as well. Now, some people wondered, can you get a really big collard green in a GreenStalk? And the answer is absolutely yes. I consider these to be large collard greens. So we will harvest, and y'all, the big ones are only in the first two tiers. The top three tiers are things that I started from seeds. And like this one got 3 in one pocket and this one has nothing. So we will have to do some separation of those and try to put no more than 2 per pocket. Those collard greens looking good. This GreenStalk right here has mostly just herbs and lettuce. So I finally got my Genovese basil planted from seed. And y'all, I just put this basil in on top of the plants that had been there last year. I just cut the tops out, sprinkled the seeds in, put in a little bit of potting mix, and now I got basil coming up. So in the very top tier, I have holy basil and Genovese basil, and that's all I have in the top tier. In the other tiers, I have different types of herbs growing. I got my little cute little signs. I wish I had some for the parsley and some of the other things, but onion, celery's over here as well because I don't eat celery unless I'm sprinkling it on like an herb. Lots of lettuce. Oh, I also have Thai basil, which is new to me this year. Thai basil growing in a couple different places. Y'all, it was looking rough a week ago. It had already flowered because I left it in its little pot, in its little seedling pot too long. But now it done woke up with all of that rain that we've been having. And then in here, I have parsley, I have curly parsley, flat leaf parsley, beautiful lettuce right here. And of course, y'all, the cilantro has bolted. Yep, that's bolted. It's the only one I have left. We'll get that out here this weekend and plant something else. And of course, Buttons has been enjoying her lettuce that we planted for her. So this is Buttons' lettuce down here. You got it? Yep. There's my dog eating healthy, enjoying her lettuce. Is it good? Oh yeah, she's happy as all get out. Enjoy. More different types of herbs in the bottom here. That's thyme growing down there. And y'all, I think I've showed you enough of this planter, but this is a beautiful GreenStalk planter, fully planted out, and we're getting ready to start round 2 on that planter as well. And when I say I got everything planted out, y'all, I do mean pretty much everything, at least that I had. So I'm going to come around to the front of the house and show you what's going on with all the flowers we put out front. So Mom spent a lot of time out here over the weekend, you know, wading in the water and trying to dodge rainstorms, or thunderstorms, I should say. But we got it all planted out. So let me show you. So the front of my house right here, y'all, it's always shaded. It gets very little sun. In the evening, it gets a little sun, but then that tree over there blocks it. So anyway, over here, she put 4 or 5 different types of coleus in. We got this really beautiful red one, y'all. And then we got this one here, but different types of coleus. Some of the coleus had got so large that they had started flowering. So we just cut the tops off, and now they're coming back and they're putting on more leaves down low. But it looks like she put 2 in each one of the little pots. Now these little pots are pretty cool. I got them from Costco or somewhere like that. But when the coleus gets really big, they get top heavy and the pots turn over. So mom threw bricks and whatever she could in the pot. The coleus will fill out and you won't be able to see that brick, but then the pot won't turn over. So all of those little pots got coleus in them. Some of them are still flowering. We need to get the flowers off, but just not right now. There's another one that she put a brick in. And then moving over here, last year, this was all petunias over here. We had petunias and coleus in that bed there. And some of them have seeded. And so in here, I have some petunias trying to come up. But we put, yep, that's petunias coming up right there and right there. I've been very fortunate to have petunias come back every year. Way up here, Southwest Ohio, Zone 6B, petunias are coming back every year. I'll take it. That's one less flower I have to pay for. But this year, instead of adding petunias, other than the ones that volunteered to come back, we've put lavender in this bed here. So there's 4 lavenders in there. I don't know how or why mom spaced it the way she did. It's not symmetrical. Anyway, and then over here, we put in all different types of impatiens. So every one of these pockets, actually, they already looking good. It's only been like 3 days and they already look so much better. Every pocket has impatiens in it, with the exception of the ones where the petunia says, don't count me out. I'm still here, y'all. I'm still here. So if it was still there, we let it stay there. Now, my goal was to try to get some type of garden art out here, but I lost so many plants just for my neglect. We had to take every petunia or every impatiens we had and just put them in this one GreenStalk. When it fills out, y'all, they're going to be absolutely gorgeous. All right, y'all, that's enough talking about flowers. Y'all know how I feel about flowers. If you're going to have a flower, that flower is going to have to do some work. But that's why mom planted those. Now let's go talk about some vegetables. Y'all, I said I wasn't going to talk about no flowers, but there are the rest of the flowers that mom put in over here because there were just so many coleus. This is one of the few things that I replanted. Brought this one from indoors. We started some muncher cucumbers in these pockets here. These came from indoors. So just a few days ago, we gave them top dressing and they're starting to green up a little bit. These are Cherry Falls tomatoes. This is Supremo cucumbers, more Cherry Falls tomatoes there. And then in these pockets right here, y'all, I planted some lettuce. And yeah, I didn't water them in at all. And y'all, I think they all dead. We'll see what happens, but they don't look like they're gonna survive. In the very bottom, I put in the Italian Genovese was already here, so we just gave it a good fertilizing. This is an eggplant. We got a cabbage growing here. A teeny little baby shoshitos down here as well. And something is eating that. Little bugs must have done ate that up. We're gonna have to get some neem oil or something on there. And then one more paprika over here. So some of these things are doing well, and then some y'all bit the dust. We're gonna have to figure out what's going on. And if they're not gonna make it, y'all, we'll replace it and put something else in there. This plant, this GreenStalk planter, I've done absolutely nothing to it, but I have flowers coming back from last year and a lot of them. And I'm gonna let them have the space that they've decided to come back in. And we're only going to plant in the empty pockets of this one. I guess I'll be starting everything from seeds since I don't have any more plants to put in here. And this GreenStalk over here, this one we brought, well, 2 tiers we brought from indoors. We got my Wisconsin SMR growing in the very top, my absolute favorite cucumber. Bunching onions all the way in the top. And then I have some onions that are starting to bud up. Now these onions came from indoors and we moved them outdoors. Here's a whole nother tier that looked like it wasn't gonna make it. This is a cabbage we brought from indoors and brought outdoors. Now that one might survive, I don't know y'all. This is my veranda red micro dwarf tomato. This one was indoors as well and we brought it out. Didn't make it. Some of the stuff just didn't make it. One of the things that I said was that some of the plants that I brought from inside, I didn't harden them off. Y'all, I went straight from inside, outside. I didn't let them sit outside, get used to the weather, nothing. I just brought them, stuck them in the ground and said, good luck. Well, my luck ran out on a few of those, but that's okay, y'all. It's okay. In the bottom of this GreenStalk, which we will be harvesting again very soon, I have purple broccoli here, purple broccoli in the bottom down there. All of these are different types of mustard greens. And we'll mix these mustard greens with those rape greens and some kale greens, because these are kale up here. This is kale. And the turnip greens, and we'll get us a nice big batch of something. A beautiful, beautiful green stalk. We just got to get all the pockets growing something and we'll be in good shape. My little cherry tree still only has one little cherry on it, but that's okay. It's happy, it's healthy, and that's the main thing, that it's healthy. This bed right here is one of the few beds that I put out early on, and I'm finally starting to get some little heads of broccoli coming in. So it won't be much longer now on the broccoli. And then down here, y'all, this is a purple Sicily, I think, cabbage, and they're starting to head up as well. So this bed is happy and healthy and doing some amazing things. This is my blueberry bush, and it still has blueberries on them. They're not quite ready yet, but they have a ton of blueberries. And I just put these in last year, so I don't know if we're going to get blueberries or not beyond what's flushing right now, but nice blueberries. Over here, I have weeds growing, of course, but in addition to the weeds, I have some wildflowers growing. It's called a beekeeper mix that I put in here. And with this beekeeper mix, it's supposed to be a variety of flowers that's going to bloom all season long, and they're going to bloom at different times because it's a mix of flowers. And the blooms are supposed to keep bringing the bees in. So hopefully that works out for us. The strawberry green stalks are looking good. Nice big strawberries down here. Filling on out, looking good. There's my one potato plant that's not supposed to be there, and that's the second year that is grown there. And it gave me, what was it? 5 pounds of volunteer fingerling potatoes, I think is what was in there last year. Over here, we got strawberries coming in. Strawberries over here. They're nice and healthy too, y'all. They're nice and green. They're looking really good. But y'all, the most important thing about these strawberries is that Charlie came out yesterday. She says, Mom, I harvested all of the strawberries. There's none for nobody. I got all of them, and I got a half a dozen. I'm like, well, that's great, Charlie. Enjoy them. Go inside, wash them up, and enjoy those strawberries. Y'all, I come outside today, y'all, and look. Y'all see all of that red down there? Y'all, those are strawberries. Those are strawberries. I'm gonna have to get Charlie's eyes checked. All these strawberries in here. Now the strawberries in this tub have been going for about 5 years. There's a beautiful strawberry right there. But y'all, strawberries are all throughout this bed and it is loaded. I believe that's the best flushing of strawberries I've gotten in that one bed since I put it in place. So we'll get Charlie's eyes checked out, but since she didn't pick them, that means I get to enjoy them. Y'all, look at this bed right here. A few weeks ago, it looked like the one over at my neighbor's where it looked like those little plants wasn't gonna survive. But now look at it, y'all. This is all cabbage, different varieties of cabbage growing over here. It's starting to want to curl up, and the curling means it's ready to head up. And that's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And there's that flower that's self-seeded all over my garden, y'all. I'm getting concerned that that thing's going to try to take over. But nonetheless, there's the cabbage. I still think that this pink lemonade plant is, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. That plant looks like it might try to survive. At least that one does. Some of the rest of these look completely dead. I had someone tell me that for my rhubarb here that I need to get these flowers cut off. So I'll take care of that this weekend. Cabbage. I also planted an eggplant here. That's a volunteer tomato. Can't tell you where it came from because the dirts that I used to fill all of these beds up came from all over the garden. So it could be anything. Grapes are taking off. The onions are doing amazing. And I have onions everywhere. Everywhere. I don't want to lose any of them, but nonetheless, they're doing amazing. I have down here beans that self-seeded. I was just one plant. Now I think I'm up to like 5. So I might not be putting yellow wax beans on this side. I might be putting green on that side. Y'all see that right there? Those blooms. There's some more blooms on this side over here. Right here, some blooms. Right here, blooms. And y'all, all of these plants right here, these are all potato plants. They're all potatoes. Think 3 different varieties, if I remember correctly. And when you see blooms, that means there are potatoes down below. Now, some people say you need to pull the blooms off so you can send more energy down to the potatoes versus reproducing by producing blooms. Now, y'all, I don't know if that's true or not. I really don't know. So sometimes I remove the blooms and other times I don't. Either way, I know removing the blooms isn't going to hurt it. I finally got my dwarf tomato green stalk planted up. So this vertical tower has nothing in it but dwarf tomatoes. And y'all, I barely had enough to fill it up. Y'all, I lost so many plants. But that's okay, y'all. I filled it all the way up, minus I think 2 pockets. And let me tell you what I did in those 2 pockets. So in this pocket right here, I didn't have enough to fill it up, y'all. So I have over there on that green stalk, I have orange hat tomatoes that I brought from indoors. And some of those tomatoes were so ripe that they just weren't fit to eat because they were just that ripe. So I came over here and I dug a hole and I stuck those tomatoes in there. I squished it so that the seeds would come out and I planted them. And so I did that in 2 or 3 pockets on the top. Everything else between the Cherry Falls tomatoes, which by the way, is blooming. It's doing really well, it's happy. All the way down to the Tasty Wines and the Hannah Prizes and the Rosella Crimsons and the Bush Steaks down here in the bottom and the Wild Spud Leaves and the Fred Tie-Dyes, y'all. Did I name everything? Because there's a lot of stuff. Tasmanian chocolates down here. I got Chocolate Lightning. I have Golden Gypsy, but all dwarf tomatoes, or in the very top, I have some type of micro dwarf tomatoes. The micro dwarf stays smaller than the dwarf, and then the dwarf is somewhere between 2 feet up to, I really don't like them to get 3 feet tall, but I have a few that'll get up to 3 feet tall. Some of them are determinate, which means that they're going to put most of the fruit on at one time. Some are semi-determinate, so they're going to give me a larger flushing, but then give me some onesie-twosies throughout the year. But nonetheless, they stay small enough for me to enjoy them in my GreenStalk. I put 2 tomatoes in this Vigo Garden rolling tomato planter, and I did put 2 in there. The palomino or something like that, queen of the night, are the two I put in there. The queen of the night was not very happy. It's teeny, but y'all, it is there. And I went ahead and set up a second one. And I got Rainbow and Paul Robeson in here. Now these, in this one here and that one over there, those are indeterminate, which means they're going to grow and keep growing until disease or the weather takes it out. So the front of the garden is going to be very different this year with the way I have it set up, with these two types of trellising right here and tomatoes on either side. And I haven't planted this bed out in the front yet, but we'll get it planted this weekend. Now getting back over here to this GreenStalk, this one has peppers in it, y'all. Now, again, I didn't have enough peppers to go all the way around. I didn't. I just had enough peppers for 2 tiers. Now these are my sweet peppers. And so Yellow Monsters and Marconi and Paprika and Thunderbolt, Chocolate Beauty, Costa Rican. That's what made it. And there's a lot that didn't make it, but that's what I got. In the very top, I put my shishitos. But you don't want too many shishito plants, especially when I'm the only one that's eating them. And so then I have some empty pockets. And in these empty pockets, I'm going to put whatever I need to put in here to fill them up. For example, this is my sweet pepper planter, but I have a tomato growing right there. It's called Sweet Scarlet growing right there. You do what you got to do to fill in the spaces, y'all. I don't have anything in these pots yet. Moving on over to this GreenStalk, we planted this one out a while ago, y'all, a long time ago. And it's still looking amazing. In the top, the carrots are looking good. The lettuce is looking good. The onion are filling on out. And in the very bottom, the chamomile, no blooms or anything yet, no flowers yet, but the rosemary's looking good. I harvested some of the verbena and dried it out, so that's looking good as well. Beautiful planter right there. And I guess you've noticed, I'm showing you a lot of different GreenStalks growing a lot of different things. Y'all, I love my GreenStalks. And I am trying to use them very efficiently in the garden this year. So when something's done, it is going to be very important for me to be able to pull that out and put something else in so we can keep that harvest coming all season long to put away enough food for myself and feed about 11 other people throughout this upcoming season. Nothing here yet. My box potatoes are doing well in the box, but y'all, my box started giving away and we are too early for that box to be giving away. So guess what? I put the box inside of a box so I can keep having box support here. These potatoes we brought from indoors, and y'all, this pot, y'all, it's got humps and bumps all on the sides. So I know there are potatoes in the bottom of that box. This right here is one of my big baking potatoes or russet potatoes. The little plants are starting to come up. So this weekend, I'll throw some more soil if I can find some, and some straw if I can find some for all of these now that they've broke ground. I had to take this pot to put a Hungarian heart in just so I could get more indeterminate tomatoes. Here's another box that's falling apart, y'all. I thought since that box was thicker, it would be able to handle the weather, and it really can't. So when I get another box, I'm going to put that box inside of a box before it falls completely apart on me. Tomatoes in the back along that trellising there. They should be happy. There's nothing up here but dead plants that I never got in the ground. I got some onion on this back side here. They're standing up and they're happy now. These potatoes right here, y'all, are amazing. They're doing amazing. In the last few days, the blooms have really started coming on these as well. So potatoes are below doing what they need to do. And one of the things that I always talk about is supporting my potatoes. There's a trellis down here, y'all. Not trellis, but a little piece of wire here. And the potatoes are growing up through this wire so it can help keep it upright. On this bed right here, I didn't do that. And you see how these tomato or potato plants are all leaned over and everything because they don't have the support that that bed over there has. So it'll be interesting to see what the potato growth looks like on these plants versus these over here that I did put a system to support them, hopefully helping with some airflow as well. Oh wow, y'all, the thyme finally woke up. Y'all, this was like one little sprig of thyme sitting over here a couple weeks ago. And so we planted a couple more small ones over here to try to fill up this area with thyme. I'm out indoors and I need to harvest a lot and dry a lot this year. These are chives. I need to cut them back and let them keep growing. We harvested this sage just a couple of weeks ago and it's already back with blooms and little bees and everything all over them. And I tried to cut back from this side here to give this oregano time and a chance to wake up. So just another perennial herb bed there. In this bed right here, y'all, again, I was trying to grab as much as I could from a tomato standpoint because I need to can quite a few this year. In the front, I have my lavender. I have 2 tomato plants growing behind that. And y'all, I put in teddy bear sunflowers and none of them broke ground. So I don't know if I had a bad batch of seeds, if I put them in too early, if it's too early because I don't know anything about sunflowers, but do they just take longer to germinate? We've had warmer weather now for a little over a week. So they've only been in the ground for about 10 days. So we'll see what happens in the back of this bed. You see those right there, y'all? Those are gonna be my blackberries. They had blooms on them a week ago, and now they have little bitty blackberries growing on them. I believe some of that late frost we had got to a couple of my limbs here, but outside of that, y'all, this tree has lots and lots of apples on it. The question will be, will the little critters allow me to have some this year or not? But there are probably, like I said, 50 or more apples growing on this one tree. But 2 of the 3 trees in this space has some apples on it. So that's a good thing. I have lettuce in this space here. Y'all, this looked like very sharp last week, and now they're kind of rounding out and getting big and full. I don't know what kind of lettuce this is, y'all, but it's good. We harvested it 2 weeks ago and we've been eating on it ever since. I harvest one there. That's the one I took out. We need to replace that spot, put something else back in. We got onions growing in the front, more lettuce over there. This is that same lettuce that I have over at the neighbors in their GreenStalk. And whatever this is, it gets really, really big and it kind of overshadows some of the other lettuce that's in that space. And behind there, we have cauliflower growing in that space there. And then in the very back, we have Brussels sprouts. 2 more bags of potatoes. And y'all, I haven't watered anything. With the amount of rain we're getting, with the exception of my GreenStalks, that's it, y'all. The rain is coming so frequent that all of these grow bags can suck in that water from the ground because we're standing in water. And then of course, it's gonna grab the rain as it's coming down. Like in this bed right here, y'all, I said that I didn't have any more transplants. I really don't. These transplants that are here is all I have, plus the couple that are over there that I can take to the community garden this year. That's it. I'm trying to make sure I got enough for everybody, and that's all I could spare for the community garden. Behind these plants though, I have a few tomato plants growing. And then down on this end down here, I have my tomatillos growing down here. The tomatillos, I have 3 of them. And then the rest of the tomato plants. Tomatoes growing over here. Now I have lots of hot peppers, just nowhere to put them but the community garden. More tomatoes across here, and that's all that's growing in this bed as well. So tomatoes are only growing in that bed, and then these 3 coming through here, minus 1 or 2 pots throughout the garden. In this bed here, I have carrots in the front, onion, and different types of cauliflower growing over here. Some of them look great, some of them don't look too good, and some of them created a double root on them. I thought I had planted two. Ooh, y'all, I'm running into spider webs. I thought I accidentally planted two, but I didn't, y'all. That's only one plant, but the root split in half, and so there are two coming up. So I don't know how that's going to work out. The same thing happened on this one that's over here as well. Two more bags of potatoes. Y'all, I haven't seen the skunks in my garden ever since I turned the noisemakers back on. So I'm hoping they've moved on to a different spot and are going to leave me alone and my garden alone. So nothing's been dug up, at least by the skunks so far, since the last time I told you about it. In this GreenStalk back here, I have a tomato plant that's gone absolutely crazy. It's super green, got blooms on it like crazy. This is my, yeah, I forgot. It's the same one I have in the yellow one over to the side. I'll show you a picture of it. I can't think of the name of it right now. I put a few hot peppers over here. Actually, this is the hot pepper tower, what I'm thinking about. This is the hot pepper GreenStalk. And I didn't fill it all the way up. I do have more hot peppers over there, but y'all, nobody's going to eat them here. I just grew the ones that I knew I needed to make hot sauce. So I have cayenne peppers, serrano peppers, and some jalapeno peppers throughout the garden, and some Anaheim chili peppers. We have more celery, and right here, I think it's finally trying to die, y'all. It is. This is the one we brought from indoors. It's finally given up. It's been growing since December. I think it's done its job. But this one's getting ready to take its spot, looks like. But there's still some empty spots in here. Now my plan is to use this GreenStalk right here to show you how you can grow many different things in the same space. Oh yeah, we also got lavender down there. So we got lavender, we got celery, we got peppers, we got tomatoes, and then we're also going to have down there probably some summer squash as well. And y'all, guess what? Another bed of potatoes. I grow a lot of potatoes, y'all, because I don't buy that stuff in the store, and I can them. So all winter long, I'm eating my own potatoes. I don't buy that stuff from the store if I don't have to. But anyway, here's another bed of potatoes. There are 3 different varieties over here as well. And yes, they are blooming just like all of the potatoes. Now my potatoes, for 3 of these beds, I put them in the very first week in April. And usually sometime around late June, I will be harvesting the potatoes, but I'll wait for the potatoes to tell me when they're ready. And like these potatoes are leaned all over and falling over the side, right? Because guess what? There's no supports on these potatoes. And so there's nothing to help hold these homes up. And these are big, thick homes in here, but there's nothing to help support them. So they got to go to the space of least resistance. In the back here is where I am growing my russet potatoes. And then I don't forget what's in the middle, but in the front is purple Viking, which is my favorite potato. This next bed right here, more onion as well. And then y'all, I had to put up this little bit right here, this little fence, not because I'm trying to keep something out, but because I'm trying to keep something up. This little bitty fencing is holding the potatoes up and getting them off of the onion that I'm trying to grow right here. And y'all, that's not all onion, that's grass. I'm up here thinking onion growing, y'all, that's grass. Now, don't get me wrong, there's onion in here along with the grass. But some of this is grass. Moving over to my last bed of pride that I have pride and joy over. I started this bed in February. It was the earliest I've ever started outside. And in here, I have different types of brassicas growing. So I have Napa cabbage growing on this side. I got 2 plants right here of Napa cabbage. Something's been eating that. Something went to town. Okay, we're gonna have to take care of that one. But back here, I have cabbage heading up. It's still soft. I got cabbage trying to head up throughout the front here. I got onions across the front. They're getting big, and it looks like they're ready to start bulbing up. But y'all, look at that purple broccoli. You see that? Look at that. And there's another one back here and here. It's kind of hard to see that one. But the broccoli's coming in, the cabbage, and the onions look amazing. Well, y'all, I've been talking for a minute, and I think I've showed you everything that we've worked on up to now throughout this season. Everything's in the ground from a transplant standpoint except for one or two one-offs. But for the most part, y'all, transplants are in, and now we can focus on those things that we can start from seeds because it's warm enough. My nights are not getting any lower than 50-ish, but most of them are right now in the 60s, which means that I can put seeds in the ground and know that they'll be okay and they will germinate quickly and they'll catch up with pretty much any transplant that I have in the ground right now. So I'm talking summer squash, winter squash, cantaloupes, honeydew, watermelon, beans, all the different varieties of beans and shelling peas and that kind of stuff. That's what we'll be working on next. Because if you look at the front of all of my beds here, there's nothing in the front of any of these beds. So they are waiting on other things to finish filling them out. Like that one right there. That's going to have some type of summer squash or zucchini or something in it. But anyway, y'all, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me for this very long May garden update. So we're going to call this the end of May garden update because I probably might not get back out here to early June. But you got to see everything that we're working on here in Southwest Ohio. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.